Hey everybody, thank you so much for being here. My name is Joy, my pronouns are she and her, and today's yoga class is about connection. No matter where you are right now, you probably feel leaning towards one extreme or another, because it's pretty hard to find true balance in our lives. Maybe you feel as if you've been overstimulated. There are too many people around, too many sounds, too many activities happening, and maybe you need to slow it down a little bit. Maybe you need to take some time for yourself. Or you could be on the opposite. You could feel lonely, like it's been too quiet, like you need more activity, more things to do, more people to interact with. Either way, we have a practice just for you to connect in and figure out what it is that you need, and then to go get it for yourself. Thanks for being here, and I'll meet you on the mat. Hey everybody. When you find your way onto the mat, go ahead and lower yourself down. Let's begin in a seated posture. I oftentimes like to start in Sukhasana, or easy pose, one leg in front of the other. Oftentimes my hips are elevated too. If it feels good to you, please go on and grab a pillow, which is what I'm sitting on, or even a block would work fine. Draw the hands onto the legs. They can be close to the knee or close to the hip. Roll the shoulders all the way up so as if they were gonna pinch the ears. Roll them back down and close your eyes. So I mentioned that today is about connecting into yourself. To figure out if you need more connection to others, to activities, to ideas, to conceptions of the world, or whether there's been too much of that, and in fact, you need to get away, take some healing time for yourself. Now, I want to be clear, there is no right and no wrong in this space. So tune in right now into the breath. Notice how the breath feels as it comes in. Is it coming through the mouth or through the nose? Does it feel cool or warm? And as you let it out, lengthen the exhale. Is it a little warmer? Or is it cooler? Continue the breathing at your own pace. And now bring awareness to the brain, to the head, to the thoughts that are floating around. Is it active? Does it have a warm, vibrational, excitable energy? What color are your thoughts? Do they have a shape, a feel, a texture? Are they quiet and fluffy? Are they dark and heavy? Again, there is no right, no wrong. Move the attention now back into the breath, into the core center of the body, into the chest, into the belly, into the diaphragm. And take 2 more breaths with the attention here. Trying to forget the mind and the brain. Attention now switches it up. Back into the mind and the brain. What's there? Can you describe it? Two breaths here. When you can think of no more words, just let it be silent. But if you can keep naming thoughts, ideas, descriptions, go ahead and do so. Now bring it back into the core, into the center of the body. Let go of the brain. We're gonna stay here now for 5 rounds of breath at your own pace. I'm just gonna hold the space for you. Let the focus be in the body. And if you can, slowly in the body only. What moves? What does it feel like? When your 5 breaths there in the body are done, draw the hands together in front of the heart. Check in with the shoulders if they're still kind of lowering down using gravity to drift them away from the earlobes. Keep the eyes closed. And here, take 5 more rounds. Sometimes once we've given ourselves time to let the mind go crazy, we are better able to come back into the body itself. Regardless of what you need, regardless of if you're over or understimulated, over or underconnected, over or under aware of yourself, just be in your body right now. If you are counting your breaths, get at least to 5. If not, just continue right here in the body. Slowly create extra space between the fingertips. Just a little bit of space. As if they were about to touch. That's how close they are. Can you feel any energy between the fingers? And if so, what is it? And still hovering with those fingertips, just barely apart from one another, I invite you to take the right hand and think of it as more of the overactive side. Overconnected, overstimulated, overthinking. And let the left side, the left hand, be thought of as the understimulated, the quiet, the less connected. And let that space in between them be that area of overflow, that area where they actually, without touching, come together. That area of your own balance in the body, with those hands near the heart, right between the core and between the head. Let this be a physical manifestation right here. Stay here for 5 more breaths. You can do it. Sometimes bringing quiet to the body is hard, but let those extremes help to balance you out. There are times when I do this, I notice one hand shaking, or one hand being a little more tired. What is that? Again, if you're counting, go at least to 5 breaths. And if not, let's take 1 breath all together. Inhale through the nose. Spread the hands a little bit farther apart, maybe to shoulder distance. Then exhale, hands come truly to heart center, fingertips touch. Slowly open the eyes. Thank you. How do you feel? Any different? A little more in balance, a little less. Just notice, it's all okay. Go ahead and remove whatever it is the hips may be elevated upon and set it off to the side. Come up and over the legs, roll off to one side or the other. Find a tabletop pose. Ooh, I'm noticing a little bit of snap, crackling, and popping in my body and my hips and my shoulders. What do you notice? Check in with each side. Is it different in the left or the right? Today, tuck the toes behind you in this tabletop pose. And draw the fingertips even a little bit wider than usual. Make sure that it's comfortable, but let them be spread far. Spread the toes energetically here as they're tucked under to be nice and wide. Bring the weight forward and back, left and right. Then into our first cow pose. Drop the belly. Subtle rolling of the shoulders up, back, and down. And gaze up. Keeping those toes tucked. Cat pose. Puff up between the shoulder blades. Creating space in between the scapula. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale to cat. If it feels good, go ahead and let yourself be creative here. Left, right, forward, back. Moving with the breath. In and out. Cow and cat. Even expand through the lungs and make some noise as you breathe in and out. In and out. Excellent. Let this be a manifestation of the connection between the body and mind. Come back through center and press all 10 fingertips into the mat. Now, keeping those toes tucked, press them into the earth and levitate the knees. Holding them maybe just a couple of inches off the earth. Check in with the core and notice if the belly button is engaged. Take a breath and lower down. Spread the knees wide for our first child's pose. Forehead down to the mat. Draw the weight forward into the hands. And come into a very high cobra or a very low upward dog. So the hands are still pressing into the earth, but allow the hips to be a little bit lower. They don't need to be raised higher. Excellent. Then come back through tabletop. We're gonna do this a few times, creating extra warmth all throughout the body. So tuck the toes. Elevate through the knees. Lifting. Keep the core engaged. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Hold there. Don't go anywhere. Inhale. Exhale. Lower the knees. Child's pose. Inhale. Draw forward. Either upward dog or cobra. Then back, lifting through the hips, slowly connecting into tabletop. 2 more times here. Tuck the toes and lift the knees. Notice if the fingers have gotten closer together. And make sure that those palms are still pressing into the earth, but then in the very center, think about lifting the inner center palm up towards the shoulder. Excellent. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Child's pose. Inhale, high cobra or low up dog. Tabletop. Last time, tuck the toes and bring the knees high. This time, pick up the right foot and step it directly behind the left. Notice how the weight changes in the shoulders. And then back through center. Pick up the left foot and step it directly behind the right, keeping the body, the core in the exact same space, under center. 2 more times on each side. Right foot behind and lower. Left foot behind, back through center. Right foot behind, center, left, center, and lower child's pose. Low, up dog, or high cobra. Back through tabletop. Lovely. Now you walk your hands back towards the knees. Come through a hero seated pose or directly into a forward fold. Feel free to spread the feet a little extra wide and move the flesh aside if you need. Let this be a little bit of a restorative posture, actually. Drawing the chest down, release the neck. Let the hands find what is comfortable. Ragdoll pose, hands on the knees, hands on the hips or on the belly. You can even interlace the fingers behind the spine and let that punching fist draw towards the ceiling. For me, that's calling to a lengthening in the neck, wherever you are. Bring the weight left and right, forward and backwards. Woo! Bring the weight left and right, forwards and backwards. Release the hands if they're anywhere clasped. Roll up. Standing posture, mountain pose, Tadasana. Let the feet be hip distance apart, or maybe even a little bit wider. Right hand onto the belly, left hand to the heart. What connection do you need? We're going to do a short flow today. And you can take it as slow the second time or as quickly the second time as you wish. Now that the heart is beating a little bit faster, does the body feel any different? Does the mind feel any different? Release the hands down. Take a big scoop of air. Inhale, mountain pose. Arms reach high. Exhale, hands through the heart center as you fold. Halfway lift. Extend the chest forward and open. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, draw the hands all the way down to the earth. Step it back for plank pose. So this plank, you can keep the knees elevated or lower them. Either way, fingers are still extra wide. Palms press in except for the centers where they kind of pull up so we don't drop into the wrists. Wherever you're at, big breath in. Exhale, lower all the way down. Then roll off onto the right side as the right arm extends out in front. Flex through both feet and use the left hand as stability here. If it's uncomfortable for your neck or for your shoulder, you can easily place the right hand behind the head. Spread those feet about hip distance apart and dip the toe down and forward till it touches and then lift. Drop the heel down into the back until it touches and then lift. Notice how we need to be nice and solid wherever our body touches the mat. Bring it forward and backwards a few times. So we have lots of options to make changes here. Try to energetically keep that left hip stacked on top of the right. You can take bigger circles or small little baby ones. This is where you get to be a little bit creative, connect to your body and what it needs. One more time, wherever you are at whatever pace. Stack both feet, drawing them together, then roll back through center. Tuck the toes or bend the knees. Press up to a plank. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Feel free to bend extra deep in the knees. Big step forward. Roll up. Mountain. Hands to the heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale, big fold forward. Let the hands go where they will. Halfway lift. Open the chest and fold. Inhale, lift. Plant the hands. Step it back into a plank. Knees lifted or lowered. Hold there. Check in with the hands. Make sure they're wide. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Extend the left arm out in front of you and roll onto the side. Notice what feels good for your body. Right hand is stable. You can draw the left hand behind the head. Flex both feet. Draw them till they're about hip distance apart. Toes become an arc, folding until they touch in front of you. Then lift. Use that right hand stability as you try to touch it behind you and extend. This is where we connect. As we use that body line into the mat to help us stay steady. This is one of those things that's not easy for anyone, so we all have to pay attention. We all have to work. We all have to listen to our bodies. Take a few more rounds, going as slowly or as quickly as you need. Last one. Stack both feet on top. Roll back down. Hands under the shoulders. Bend the knees or tuck the toes. Press up. Plank. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Big breaths in and out. Step forward. Roll up to a mountain. Excellent. We're going to do this 2 more times, adding on a little bit each time. Feel free, if you'd like to make this more of an aerobic exercise, to let it be a little bit more energetic. If you'd like to make this a little bit more on the quieter side, let it be a little slower, okay? Inhale, mountain. Exhale, swan dive fold. 2 halfway lifts in. Hand out. Halfway lift. Plant the hands. Plank pose. Big breath. Lower. Right arm out. Rotate open. Create the arcs. These half circles. Check in with the body, making sure that the hips are stacked. For added difficulty here, try to let that left hand float. This requires you to press the right leg into the mat for even more stability. I don't know about you, but I feel that a lot in my hips, my glutes, my quads. You've got 3 more rounds. and 1, back through center. From here, roll down. Hand under the shoulders, press through plank. Downward facing dog. This time, roll forward into a plank pose. Drop both heels off to the right. And draw the left hand, sorry about that, drop both heels off to the side. Spread those right fingers and left hand to the hip. Side plank. I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling this. If you've got that side plank steady, the top or the front foot can lift. 1, 2, 3. Extend the arm overhead. And back to a downward facing dog. Big step forward. Roll up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And release. Halfway lift. Connect to the body. Connect the hands to the earth. Step back. Big breath in. Lower down. Extend the left arm. Rotate open. Again, create those big arcs, half circles. Check in with the body, how quickly you want to move, where things are a little weaker, where they're solid. And again, if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can lift through the right hand, even draw it to the hip. Let it hover, explore. You've got 3 more runs right here. Woo-hoo! Getting creative and connected. Come back through center and down. Tuck the toes. Press up. Downward facing dog. Roll through the spine into a plank. Both heels come off to the left. Side plank. Right hand to the hip. Oh yeah. If you feel strong here, you can lift the top leg a couple of times, even extending through the right fingers and plank down dog. Step forward. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's take a breather here. Don't worry, it's not even really a breather, but we are going to change it up. So knees are in, not out, in alignment with the feet. And sink to a chair pose. So chair pose is one of those that is both really challenging and it still allows our body to find a little bit of stillness. So connect in to the hot, energetic side, the fire. Connect into the coolness, the breath, the expression, right here. You've got 3 more breaths. Let it be as light or as deep as you want. On your final breath, inhale through the nose. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift and down. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, plank pose. Lower all the way. Right arm forward. And let's do this isolation for the last time. So if you'd like to slow it down, keep the feet in alignment and just lift the top leg. And if that's even too much, you may allow the feet to come together, but think about energetically pulling them apart. Maybe they just hover. If you'd like to make this even more difficult, big circles and the hand on the hip, on the heart, on the shoulder, anywhere that it's not actively giving you a connection to the earth, will be your challenge point. We've got 5 more breaths. 4. Connect in. Use this as a chance to figure out what you need. Let's all stack the feet, roll back. Tuck the toes, bend the knees. Plank, down dog. Roll it forward. Heels drift to the right. Side plank, right away, extend the arm to the sky. This time lift and open up through the hip. We haven't done this, so the toes lift to the sky. Find a low, a medium, or even a high tree pose in this side plank. Big breath in, lifting out of that right wrist. Slowly come back into a plank. Maybe you even hold the feet an extra bit. Glide the left toes to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Big step, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Chair. Tune in. What can you use to describe the mind? So now that the body is kind of taking over, tune back in. This gives us a chance to explore. You've got 3 more breaths. 2. Last one in through the nose. Exhale, big breath out through the mouth. Halfway lift and down. Last time, halfway lift. Plant the hands, plank toes. Lower to the earth. Keep those elbows in, even when we're tired. Left arm forward. And let's do these circles. If you'd like to keep it a little bit slower, a little bit more intentional, draw the feet either just apart from one another, or maybe it's just even energetically engaging the hip. If you'd like to turn it up more, keep those circles a little bit bigger. Ooh. Notice how it's changed now that you're tired. And draw the hand to the hip, to the shoulder, to the sky, anywhere that it's not actively supporting you. Try to keep the upper body nice and stable. All right, you've got 5. Last one. Both feet together and release. Tuck the toes or bend the knees, plank. Down dog. Roll forward, plank. Both heels to the left. Lift the right arm to the sky, right away. So this we haven't done before on this side. Lift the toes to the sky. Take a low tree, a medium tree, or a high. Balance here. Check in with the breath. Inhale. Maybe keep those legs as you come back through a plank. Right toes slowly extend to meet the left. Down dog. Come up on the high tippy toes. Then sort of as we did earlier in class, we're going to lower the knees down. Flat back. Draw the shoulders forward a little bit so they're over the wrists. And let the knees hover. You've got this for 8 breaths. I know you can do it. It's amazing how things can start to combine, to become more powerful together when we give ourselves a challenge. You can do it. Connect in with yourself. Connect in with the power that you're displaying. Connect into the cool, lunar left energy. Connect into the warm, hot, right energy. Last breath in. Lower the knees, spread them wide. Take your time here in child's pose. Take your time coming out of your child's pose. If you feel like you're done with your practice, you may end it now. Always Shavasana is an option for you. But sometimes there are moments, I've got my puppy here now, where we feel like things are a little more balanced, where we feel as if we have an instant or a moment where things can align. And even if that's not right now, that's what this practice is about. It's about finding these subtle moments where we can connect with ourselves so that later when we go out in the world, when we speak on the phone, when we interact with other creatures, with other humans, or even with the things around us, we can do so with a little bit more intention and a little bit more truth. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you around soon.